Hello and welcome back to my channel and to another week of What's for Dinner. So with it being the summer holidays here in the UK, I have been baking quite a bit. So I've included a muffin recipe in this week's video because it's all about the snacks right now. Every 5 minutes it's mum, can I have something to eat? Mum, can I have something to eat? So I've got a really quick and easy muffin recipe that the kids can get involved with. I feel like there's also quite a few pasta dishes this week. I was trying to use up some ingredients we had in the cupboards rather than keep buying more, filling up the cupboards and freezer more and wasting food. I tried to use up some stuff that was sort of hanging around, and pasta is just one of those really easy dishes that you can throw things into and it turns out pretty good most of the time. I have definitely found some new favourites. One of those is mixing feta with bacon, which is not something I would normally do. So without any more rambling from me, let's go and have a look at the video. So I'm just about to start making some blueberry muffins. This is something that we've been eating a lot of lately and we really enjoy it with like some crispy bacon and some fresh fruit, nice cup of tea. So I'm going to take you through how to make them. So instead of using regular sugar, I'm actually going to be using this Zusto sugar substitute. Zusto are kindly sponsoring this section of the video. So Zusto is actually a sugar substitute that you can use it on a one-to-one basis. So if you would normally use 100 grams of sugar, you can use 100 grams of Zusto, but you will get 75% less calories. So in 100 grams of normal sugar, you've got around 400 calories. 100 grams of Zusto has 98 calories. So you are cutting that right down. It's ideal for diabetics. It's perfect for baking because if you try and use sugar-free sweeteners in baking, usually you can't get the weights right. So this is different to baking with sweetener. This is an actual sugar substitute with lower calorie. You can use it exactly as you would normally use sugar. It also tastes exactly the same as sugar. There's a nice crunch. It smells just like sugar. It's also really good for your digestive system. So it's got corn and chicory fibers in it and they have a prebiotic effect. So it's also really good for you. It's got a low glycemic index and it actually naturally lowers your blood sugar levels. So we are going to make some super healthy blueberry muffins using Zusto and I will show you the finished product. So I have got some milk, some eggs, some butter, we've got bicarbonate of soda, we've got some baking powder, some vanilla extract, we've got our Zusto sugar substitute, we've also got some blueberries, some plain flour and some yogurt. So what I'm going to do is combine the ingredients. I'll show you as I go along. I'll also leave the recipe typed out in the description box along with all the details of Zusto, including any links and where you can get it from. And let's get baking some muffins. So I'm going to start off mixing my dry ingredients in one bowl. Zusto is actually also vegan and gluten free, so it's perfect if you have any intolerances or you follow a vegan lifestyle. So I'm going to add 140 grams of it into my bowl and I haven't got to do any adjustments like I would with sweetener. It is just the exact same weight for the recipe. Next up we're going to add 250 grams of plain flour. And we want 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. So 2, 1 of bicarb. So that is our dry ingredients. I'm just going to give those a little mix so they are nice and combined. Right, so we're just going to mix together our wet ingredients. So we need 140 grams of natural yogurt, 2 tablespoons of milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and we've got 100 grams of melted butter. And we're just going to whisk this together. And what we're going to do once everything is combined and it's nice and smooth, we're going to slowly add our dried ingredients a little bit at a time and just keep whisking. I've also got an electric whisk so you could have a go with that. And we're just going to combine it and then we're going to add our blueberries. So now we're all mixed together, I'm going to add in my blueberries. I've got 125 grams. So I'm going to put almost all of them in. I'm going to save a couple just for decoration. Just going to mix this through and then pop them in our muffin cases and pop them in the oven. Right, so my muffins are ready to go in. I've just put them in one of these silicone moulds and popped it in an oven tray, just because sometimes this is a bit floppy to get in and out. These are going to go in my preheated oven at 180 degrees for 5 minutes. I'm then going to turn it down to 160 for another 10 to 15 minutes, or until I can pop a skewer in and it comes out clean and dry. So here we are out of the oven and they smell so good. I cannot wait to eat these. So I'm going to let these cool because they're really, really hot. You can see the blueberries on the edges and they are absolutely huge. So you may want to do some sharing with these, but then again, you may not. So our muffins are cooled down and the boys are patiently waiting to tuck in. So if you check out the links in the description box, you can use code VF21 and that will give you 10% off your orders. I highly recommend you have a look. The muffins have come out the same as they would whenever I normally make them. They don't taste any different and we cannot wait to sit and eat them. And the boys are patiently waiting in the background, so I'm going to stop talking and let them come and enjoy their food. So I'm just starting tonight's dinner. Yesterday, I don't know if I filmed it or not, but I put a whole gammon in the slow cooker, like a joint of gammon, which is basically a joint of ham. So I used most of it last night. We had jacket potato, cheese, baked beans and gammon, and I'd done it in the slow cooker. So what I'm doing tonight is egg fried rice with the leftover gammon. So this is cooked chopped gammon. We've got some spring onions, some garden peas. I'm just heating up a tablespoon of oil. I've cooked some rice and I'm going to pop all these bits in together. I'm going to add some seasonings, maybe a little soy sauce, some Chinese seasoning perhaps, and then I'm going to put some kind of scrambled egg or egg through it and just make a little leftover egg fried rice dish. So in here I've got my gammon, my spring onions and my peas. I've just given that a few minutes just to start like giving it a little bit of colour. And now I'm going to slowly add some rice to the mixture, because what I often make the mistake of is putting the rice in, like a load of rice, and then having way too much rice to pea and ham ratio, if you know what I mean. So if I do it the other way around, I figured that I can just add what I want and then stop, rather than just having a load of rice and not enough like extras, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to keep adding that until I'm happy with it, because I have cooked quite a lot of rice. Not only am I bad at cooking rice, I'm bad at judging portions, but it hasn't turned out too badly, to be honest. I mean, I know so many of you have given me your different methods. You did like DM me on Instagram with contraptions to buy, and I don't know, I don't think that's too bad. This is cooled down now as well, so it's not too stodgy, but it's not the best. But never mind, it's just all going to go in the pan anyway, or most of it. So I'm going to add some soy sauce, a little bit of Chinese 5 spice, and then I'm going to crack my eggs into it. I know some people make up their scrambled egg and mix it through. There's all different versions or methods. I like to crack my eggs into the rice, because I find that it just like coats most of the grains of rice rather than just mixing rice with scrambled egg. I'm also going to add a little bit of black pepper and maybe some garlic powder and some onion powder. Possibly some turmeric as well, we'll see. So I've added some soy sauce and some Chinese 5 spice, and this is what we are looking like now. So what I'm going to do is crack in, I think I'm going to do 4 or maybe 5 eggs. They're quite small. If I do 5, then that's 1 per person, and I literally just crack them in and then turn them over like really, really gently. I'm trying to be clever now, I'm doing it with one hand. Oh, there we go. I'll do one with one hand, the rest I'm actually going to do properly. And I just like break the yolk, but then kind of leave it alone a little bit so that it cooks, and I'll fold it in rather than mix it like thoroughly. So it'll sink into the rice, but it will also solidify and turn into like pieces of egg. So yeah, like I said, some people do omelette or scrambled egg and put that in. but I like to do mine this way. So I'm going to add some more eggs with 2 hands, and then I'll show you it when I've finished. So here we are served up, and I've just got some sriracha or some sweet chilli sauce to drizzle over the top if anyone wants it. And that is what's for dinner tonight. So I'm just making some dinner for Steve and I. We don't really know what we're having tonight. I put some onions and some cherry tomatoes in the air fryer. I'm thinking of a Greek style dish. Well, I say Greek. I'm just about to put some bacon in here, so it's not very Greek. But I've got some olives, some feta cheese. I'm cooking some pasta. So now my onions and tomatoes are softening. I'm just going to lay some bacon over the top. And I'm thinking what we might do is put a bit of tomato puree, a little bit of seasoning, some chilies through the pasta, the onions, the tomatoes, the olives, the feta, some crispy bacon, and make like a pasta, I don't know, a pasta thing. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just going to put this in and see where we go from here. So in here we have got our pasta, I've got our tomatoes, our onions, we've got green olives with chilies in, we've got black olives, I've put tomato puree, cayenne pepper, some balsamic vinegar, some garlic granules, and then I'm just mixing it all through. And then what I'm going to do is chop our bacon up because that's still in the air fryer, and I've saved a little bit of feta to go on the top because this is all going to like melt in. And then we're going to chop some spring onions over the top, and that is what we've created. So yeah, and I've also put a little bit of this all-purpose seasoning as well. So all-purpose, cayenne, tomato puree, garlic granules, balsamic vinegar, and olives, feta, onions, tomatoes, pasta, chilies, bit of bacon. And that's what we're having tonight. So here is our finished dish. You're going to have to excuse the snoring in the background. It is the dog. So we've got our pasta, our olives. I've sprinkled it with some crispy bacon, some feta cheese and some spring onions. It's just a throw together meal with everything we've got in the cupboards. So this is what we're having for dinner tonight. So for tonight's dinner we have got a salad, and I've done some of the Iceland, I think they're called salt and pepper chicken thighs. And they're breaded chicken thighs with salt and pepper seasoning. And I've got some lettuce, some sweetheart tomatoes, I think they are, cucumber, there's some onion in there. I've got some Nando's chili jam on top and a little tiny bit of light mayo. And that's what and some cayenne pepper. And that's what we've got for dinner tonight. So I'm just making the boys some dinner. I'm doing 2 different pastas tonight, basically because I'm trying to use up what we've got in. So we've got 1 pack of sausages, so I'm giving that to the boys. And I've got some soft cheese that I've used up, some passata and some onion granules, garlic granules, also some mixed herbs and some salt and pepper, and then I've mixed it all together in a saucepan. I've cooked my sausages in the air fryer and sort of parboiled my pasta, and what I'm going to do is just add this over the top. I'm going to mix it through, and then I'm going to add some grated cheese. And then for Steve and I'm on a use up mission of all the veg that's in the fridge. So we've got some mushrooms, half a pepper, like half an onion, and then I've also got that broad bean mix that I bought in one of my previous shopping hauls, and I've got some Boisson cheese, and strangely enough half a tin of condensed mushroom soup. So I'm tempted to mix those 2 together as well, but I'll show you that when I'm doing it. But I'm just going to mix this up and then grate some cheese on it. So here is the sausage pasta bake all served up. I've just popped it in a bowl. I don't know why I keep saying that lately. Obviously I've put it in a bowl. I wasn't just going to slap it on the table. I grated some cheese over the top of it. It's kind of all melted in. But yeah, it smells really nice, very herby. That will be the mixed herbs that I put in. So that's what the boys are having. So for the other pasta dish, I've chopped up 1 onion, half a pepper. The mushrooms were definitely suspect. They looked a little bit slimy, so I've put those in the bin because they had that funny smell that mushrooms get when they're just past it. So there's no saving those. But I've got some of this Boisson garlic and herb cheese. I've got like half a tin. I had the other half for my lunch, by the way. It's not just been sitting in the fridge for like a week. Some cream of mushroom condensed soup. And I've also got this pea and bean mix, and then I've got some tagliatelle. So I'm going to mix probably, I don't know, half this bag, no, quarter. Boil the pasta. I'm just going to add some of the Boisson, some of the cream of mushroom soup, maybe a little milk and some black pepper, and just make a really nice sauce to go over the pasta, and then we'll top it with some parmesan. Oops. Right, so I've got my mushroom soup in there already. I'm going to turn it down a bit. I did end up putting half a bag of the greens in because it didn't look very much. I'm not adding any meat to this, we're just going to have it as it is. I'm just going to let that melt down. I might need to add a little milk to it just to like loosen it up a bit, or what I might do actually instead of milk is use some of the pasta water when I decide to boil the pasta, and that'll keep it nice and thick. And then I'm only just going to add some black pepper, I think, and that'll be it, ready to mix with the cooked tagliatelle. So I just added my tagliatelle into my bean and pea mixture. I've added some of the water as well, and I'm just going to serve it up and grate some parmesan on top. So here we are with our parmesan on top. We've just added a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and obviously some parmesan cheese. And that is our broad bean, green bean, pea and tagliatelle with Boisson cheese. So that is it for this week. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure to go and check out the links in the description to the Zusto site, and if you use code VF21 you will get 10% off your order. So I will leave all the details you need for that in the description box. Leave me a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll be back really soon with another one. Take care guys.